Today, I will provide my take on how critical is the finance situations for individuals that came to our show. We'll be using a ranking system with the S tier representing an immediate need to take action today. For each of our story, which I will put in the description below, I will provide a brief summary of the situation, their debt, their income, and my take. Stay till the end as we have a bonus unreleased video that you don't want to miss. If you're ready, let's get started. Starting with number 1, the worst investor on our show to date. Let's look at his profile. Michael is 31 years old. He has an income of $36,000 and debt of $10,700. While his debt might not be excessive, he's put himself into big trouble. Here is the glimpse of the situation. During COVID, you would hear Turo here, Turo left and right. And it seemed to be like the side hustle to get into, you know?
Yeah. I was making a lot of money during the COVID time. It was amazing. It was like gangbusters. Maybe just for a month, it was like getting $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And right now, I just feel like things have changed.
So you're renting a 2022 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon for $59 a day.
Mm-hmm.
You've just put yourself in a no money generating situation. You're not working for the most part. You're chilling on 2 cars on Turo. You're making $200.
That's the terrible part about it, because
there is no money in it.
No, yeah.
Oh, Michael, he leases car for $1,600 per month, and they make him peanuts. Nada, pretty much nothing. The dude works about 20 hours a week or so, and he's pretty much cruising on his parents' money at 31 years old. At the time of our recording, the mindset was just not there. He needs to put a brake on his failing Turo venture, recalibrate his strategy with his business, or pretty much completely drop it. For this reason, I am going to rank Michael as A tier. If you are considering going the route of Turo, you should check the video out. Next up, we have our $40,000 scammer story. Let's check his profile. Mike is 30 years old. He has an income of $68,500 and debt of $46,000, out of which $40,000 is a scam? Hold on, Romain, what do you mean? Well, check this for yourself. You've recorded here a $40,000 debt that you own a group of people. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's going on here?
I think it all started with one. It always starts with one, and then misused the money. And then the next project that I had was just actually trying to pay off the last person and kind of just like living my life off of people's money. But it took a lot of, I could say, introspection, and realize how f***ed up it actually was and how wrong the things I did were. I scammed these people.
Yeah. Mike was a young entrepreneur that led some of his friends and family to invest into his business. He promised kind of a specific outcome, but completely lost track along the way and pretty much decided to use all of those investments on personal expense, kind of screwing around. Couple years down the road, he felt that what he's done wasn't right, and he's pretty much now on his way to pay back the person that invested in his business. Look, as I think about his assessment, I'm ranking him as B tier because there is not such a high sense of emergency to his situation other than pretty much wanting to make things right. He's got a new job. We've chatted a couple of times since, and he's pretty much already paid back more than half of what he owed to those people. If you're interested to learn more about the mindset of a scammer, you should check the video out. Also, we just started our YouTube channel about 2 months ago and have been impressed by our community so far. We do take action and encourage you to do so as well. So if this type of content interests you, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Now, let's get back to our stories. Coming up next, we have Chelsea, our favorite psychic. Let's look at her profile. Chelsea is 34 years old. She makes an income of $32,000 and has for debt $25,000. Based on those statistics, I would put Chelsea as a B tier, but check it for yourself.
4 or 5 years ago, I got scammed on Instagram.
Oh.
He made me believe that I was getting paid, and I was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. I gave him my bank info, and he took like thousands of dollars out of my bank, and I had savings.
You are spending a fortune on dining out.
Yeah, it's mostly DoorDash.
It's insane. I mean, look,
Yeah.
dining out, DoorDash, 30, minus 30, minus 21, minus 31, minus 24. What are you doing?
To be honest, I should be cooking more,
Yeah.
but I'm so lazy lately, and that's bad.
Your expenses are two things, rent and food. That's it. But
I
today
know.
you have $380 on your account.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, how much student debt do you have?
I have no idea.
Oh my God. No, you're for real? You have no idea how much student debt you have? Look, guys, I consider Chelsea kind of as a free bird. You know, she's not really worrying about what's going on, pretty much enjoying the present and betting everything on instant gratification. However, it was not always this way. Unfortunately, Chelsea's financial situation pretty much took a turn after she got scammed for thousands of dollars on Instagram. Since then, she's had a hard time with getting back to a saving mindset. So the big issue at its root for Chelsea is that she has nothing. No emergency fund, no saving accounts, no retirement accounts, no credit score, and just $20 on her account. If something was to arise, she would be screwed. So thinking again, I feel that Chelsea's story ranks more as an A spot. Just because of the lack of credit score, again, if something arises, she wouldn't be able to really rely on debt to get her out of the situation temporarily. On top of that, Chelsea has stupid expenses, spending hundreds of dollars on takeout, and she's no longer a kid and she needs to act as an adult, taking care of her life if she wants to create a solid environment to build a family. Come on, Chelsea, if you're listening, I know it has not been easy in the recent weeks. Get back on the train. You got this. Next up is our best performing video today with MAK. So MAK is 34 years old. He makes an income of $160,000 and has for debt $52,000. What an interesting case here. With such a high income, you would never think that someone would be living paycheck to paycheck, but there is more. As you may imagine, at such high salaries and high performance, you are far, far above the median in the United States for your age, which is at 51,000.
Oh, wow.
So, you more than triple that amount. But again, it comes as well with probably a lot of concessions and work. I mean, not everybody can get to those positions. So kudos to you again on striking such high salary.
Thank you.
It feels like almost every other day you take Uber or Lyft.
I got places to be.
Do you have a driver license, man?
I do.
Come on.
Well, I
Okay.
only got my driver's license a year ago.
Okay. But here, if I sum your trip with Uber and Lyft, you sum last month to 663.
Whoa.
$663 on Uber and Lyft, mate. Food is also one of your passion, it appears. And not only in restaurants, you're spending a ton Uber Eats and DoorDash, and for a high ticket price. I mean, $79 on Uber Eats, $123. What do you buy? Caviar?
No, but you gotta get more than one meal.
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Because I mean, those are on like one day is $324 Uber Eats. What do you spend morning, lunch, and breakfast on it?
Basically, yes.
Oh, lunch and dinner. Sorry. Oh, really? You do
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Oh, come on, man. So MAK is tricky. While his behavior is definitely far from optimal, he's been able to keep the boat afloat thanks to his high salary. The mindset at its root during our first interaction was pretty much not here. MAK would spend a ton of money on unnecessary things, even to the point of buying concert tickets and not going to the event. Kind of what a waste of money. On top of that, MAK would continually increase his bad debt with awful credit card statement. This story perfectly highlights the fact that having a high salary does not always link to financial stability. If MAK was to lose his job, and touching wood, it's not going to be the case, he would find himself in a very hard spot. Overall, I will rank MAK's situation as a C because of how fast he can flip his life to the positive with being mindful and aware of his financials. In fact, we recorded an update video 4 months later, and while he did not fully reach his goals, it definitely showcased the right mindset. So MAK, keep going, mate. Moving on to a heartfelt story with Corey. Brace up for this one, guys. It's not easy. Corey is 33 years old. She has an income of $80,000 and debt of $65,000, $300. Corey's story, guys, is urgent. I will rank her as an A tier, and let me tell you why after this clip.
I was in a band, and it was my whole entire life. And then when the band broke up, right before the pandemic, I kind of spiraled into a depression, and I started numbing the pain with drugs. Got addicted to cocaine pretty heavily.
How much would you spend per day on this?
Like $140.
$140 a day?
Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't stop.
You would buy this like at the beginning of the week pretty much every day? He would come at your door and boom. I mean, you would meet him somehow. And new it weight food is 34, 62, 33, 39, 59 every day. What is it?
Nicotine.
Nicotine. Okay. Nicotine, like you mean cigarettes?
Juul.
Okay. Juul. Okay. How much do you spend per month on Juul?
About like $250.
Per month right now, you're paying about $460 on interest.
Holy crap.
Within 2 months, looking at your behavior, you will surpass 500 easy. Every month, your decisions now are going to impact that amount. In this situation, we are dealing with an individual that has an addictive behavior. And outside of the health component, that can very quickly escalate into financial ruin. Corey, at some point, would spend up to $4,200 per month on her addiction, and that brought her into a very tough financial spot, stacking on very large amount of credit card debt and also a major toll on her mental health. Fortunately, pretty much during this time, Corey kind of was able to keep her job, and that allowed her to stay afloat. Now, what's the good news is that Corey has a new dog and family support, and also has voluntarily decided to take back control of her situation. So you're gonna ask me, Romain, then why do you rank her as A? Well, I mean, look, a few bad financial decisions for a friend could have completely flipped her life. And she's not yet out of the situation. Really, Corey kind of needs to push to get her head out of the water so that she can find a greater balance in life. If you're in for an emotional roller coaster, this might be a great video for you to check out. Again, link in description. Coming up next, we have our biggest debt to date on our show with Chelsea. Chelsea is 34 years old. She makes an income of $130,000 and as for debt, $176,000. Guys, let's break the ice right away. Chelsea is definitely an S tier. Here is what I mean. You've stocked up quite a bit of credit card debt.
Correct.
You know, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Chelsea, how the heck do you have 11 credit cards? Still, given your financial situation, I don't know if I would have purchased a $50,000 car.
Yes, well, it's pretty.
Okay. Okay. Carnival Cruise.
Correct.
$4,600
Correct.
on a credit card that you have a balance that you're carrying at 19% interest.
Yes.
How many people is that for?
2.
It's just for both of you guys?
Yes.
How long is it at 4,600?
Because we got a suite. And it's
Okay.
going to be so good.
So you're paying $4,600 on a cruise when you're currently stacking. Are you ready for this?
No. Yes. All right.
$176,000 of debt,
Yeah, that sounds right.
out of which $60,000 is credit card debt.
60?
Chelsea. 60 is credit card debt related.
Whoops.
Ay, Chelsea. I mean, if you have been watching our content, you know Chelsea. She came back for her 3 months update already, and the situation remains very challenging. She still has about $55,000 worth of credit card debt, and just recently took an almost $5,000 cruise on her credit card. When you combine that with very high student loan, Chelsea does not yet have her situation under control. She also has 11 maxed out credit cards and originally a it mentality, which was looking tough. Our discussion at the time was really an intervention, as Chelsea would continue to accumulate on bad debt and really not wanting to face her financial situation. She would keep coming up with excuses. Now, only time and result will tell. Her and her partner really have no choice. They absolutely need to take action today, and thus for this reason, I am going to rank her as an S tier. We move to our next story, Tree. So Tree, guys, is 29 years old. He has an income of $500,000 and debt of $39,400. Tree story is fascinating. Hear it for yourself.
Almost 2 years ago, I lost a few members of my families.
I see.
Almost at the end of COVID kind of thing. And so I was like, I need to refigure out my life, because I realized that, as somebody who spent most of the time focusing on just like technical things, sciencey stuff, I was ignoring a lot of the personal side of things, like relationship. So I quit another big tech position prior to that.
I see.
And I went to Ukraine and volunteered for 4 months.
Wow, so you went at the forefront of the war zone in Ukraine during 2022 then?
Yeah, that was the war in Ukraine started in 24th of February. I was there in beginning of March.
How do you prepare yourself mentally for something like this?
Number one, I was not thinking at all. I was like, I need to figure myself out. I have a goal, and that's just my personal development goal. And while I figure this out, I need to do something with my time. Like, if I can do something once, I can do it again. So money wasn't an issue for me. I was like full confident in myself. It's either that I made out of this alive and I can rebuild everything from beginning, or I would die and nothing would matter.
All right, so look, with a $500,000 income per year, Tree is a no-brainer D. He's pretty much chilling. This will probably come as no surprise to many of you, but there is more. His story is very unique as it highlights pretty much a component that many people tend to forget. Money does not always contribute to happiness. It very sure helps, let's be honest, but in Tree's situation at the time, he was making around $300,000 per year, and he decided to drop everything. Went just 2 weeks later after the beginning of the war on the front lines to help support war efforts. He donated $150,000 of his own personal money, and while he was there, he realized that his life had a different meaning. So he came back to the US a couple months after that with $3,000 in his hand and had to pretty much rebuild himself. Over a year of smart decisions, and at the time of our recording with Tree, he was back on the train with solid retirement funds, diversified assets, and a new outlook on life. Tree is again in the process of changing jobs, so fairly unstable, but I am fairly confident he will find great success in his new profession, and we wish him good luck. Going on with our 8th story, James. James is 40 years old. He makes an income of $40,000 and has for debt $110,000, out of which $90,000 is in collection. Guys, brace up for this story as it highlights an amazing mental resilience.
Out of high school, I started working for the Department of Defense, military, doing some weapons R&D. We were out on a boat for a full week, so I was out there for about 65 hours. On a Friday, we were coming back. There was some old pallets and stuff of boxes of old weapons and stuff, and they weren't secured properly when I was climbing up, and they were actually secured to the ladder. And when I accidentally pulled on it in the wrong way. They shifted, and they collapsed, actually, and they tore my L4, L5 disc and herniated the disc right above it and right below it. Did a little bit of physical therapy, but then government just had to retire me because I was basically just disabled. It went from being able to earn a living, get around, do simple chores around the house, to not even be able to get out of bed without help, having to walk around with a walker.
40 years old, today, your goal number one is going to make sure that in 20 or so years, you're set. Okay? If you're stuck to to get into the credit card mindset like this, you are screwed. There is no other way to say it. The credit card debt is the worst financial decision that you can make.
Okay.
Imagine you're being 25 years old and you're stuck in an accident at work. You're then being asked to be on bed rest, guys, for 18 hours a day for 15 years. Well, that was the life of our friend James. When you go through a situation like this, I mean, as you can imagine, the world kind of flips on you. And at the time, he had many projects going on, but had to let them go through collection, not being able to work. In the span of that time, James had accumulated quite a bit of credit card. He's almost fully recovered, which is nice to see, but he wants to experience life. He has a new car and he's spending a pretty significant amount of money on restaurant and so on. I do understand the human aspect behind those decisions, and during our recommendation, I actually did not want to cut everything on his wants. Instead, I just want to bring a balance that would both kind of enrich his current joy and still build a stronger future. During my most recent interactions, James had some step backs with unexpected bills, but he's done tremendous efforts selling his car and he's on his way back to be credit card free by the end of the year. For those reasons, I will rank James' story as B. Last one before bonus, our DOGECOIN winner. Again, his name is James too. He is 28 years old, he makes an income of $43,000 and has for debt $6,900. Look guys, James is the show, but his finances are far from being one.
Growing up, I didn't always make the correct decisions in life. I've been homeless. I was a drug dealer for a while.
Wow.
I had a Jaguar that when I was homeless, I didn't pay for over a year. I paid most of it, and then I lost my job and was trying to go to school. And so I was sleeping in the Jaguar, in the school.
Right now, how much do you have from this?
What, Dogecoin?
0?
Yeah.
Okay, but what have you done with this money?
We had a good time.
So you've won $7,000 on Dogecoin. Congratulations.
Yes.
But now you have $1,400 on your account and you have nothing else.
At this moment in time.
$35, $55, $93, $105, $30, $39, $43. What's going on? You eat out every day?
Yeah, I do.
How come?
I'm busy.
James is a hustler. He has an unstable income, which makes financial planning a bit more tricky. He's got some good luck charm, let's be frank. He made great gains with Dogecoin, but today he has no money in his account, no saving, no emergency, no funds, nothing. And he pretty much continues to take on very high risk decisions. The outcome of that is pretty much a life with his partner that is constantly on a very fine line between prioritizing his business and paying rent. So this is okay when you're in your 20s, but if you want to start establishing a family, a situation like this becomes much trickier. On top of that, James continues to spend money on uselessness. I mean, as we looked into his statement, he would spend $100 at the cinema. Come on. And just recently purchased a $4,000 dog. It's madness. Because of this instability, along with the risk that at any time something could arise and it could become a disaster, I am going to rank, guys, James as an A. And now it's time for our last story, releasing this Thursday, TJ. As you can read from the thumbnail, the situation is probably our toughest to date. With negative balance on his account, a credit score in the 400s, and most of his money spent on ridiculous expenses, TJ's story ranks instantly as S tier. Here is a teaser for what is to come.
Man, I sent out an SOS and nobody came. And then I had a roommate who robbed me, and I had all my cash liquid, and he robbed me while I was at work. And
no
dipped
way.
out. Yes, took all my rent money. So they kicked me out of my apartment, and then the next day, my girlfriend dumped me.
Oh my God.
So I was undiagnosed bipolar and ADHD at the time. And so, I had issues that I didn't understand.
So that brings you to a situation today where you have nothing.
Nada.
Nada.
Absolutely nada. I like to dig my holes with spoons, not shovels.
Yeah, but you're still digging holes.
Well, that's why I'm here, right?
That's right. You want to know more? We invite you to subscribe and join us back Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific, to discover this incredible story. There it is, the full lineup for many new rankings to come. We hope you enjoy our discussion and the variety of our content. Till then, guys, we see you guys next time. À bientôt.